All right, y'all ready? Are y'all ready? All right, let's get started, shall we?
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios, a YouTube channel, and eSIM Studios on TikTok. We're live on both. Welcome. I hope everybody had a fantastic Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I skipped my live for yesterday, Sunday. I needed a little family time. So I do apologize. We have been going super hard on social media, essentially uploading something, whether it's a live stream, an upload, and or a short. Some days all three. So needed to take a little break. So I was like, you know what? Let me chill. Let me take a day off. And we're back at it here on Monday. So I do apologize for that. If you're just joining us, we're going to make a couple of changes on the channel. We're going to do on the weekends. It's going to be your time to voice your opinion. So during the week, we're going to upload, we're going to go live, and we're going to discuss everything in technology. On the weekends, I'm going to have an open panel Saturday and Sunday. That's where you can join me up on YouTube and we can talk whatever you want in regards to technology. And again, you don't have to show your face. You can have an avatar, but we can still hear you. So we're going to do that on the weekends. I opened it up on Saturday. Nobody joined, but it's all good. Eventually, it'll start rolling. It'll be fun. It'll add another element. Plus, it gives you, the viewer, if Verizon screwed you over or whatever, if you're not happy with your iPhone 17 or something, let us know. We'll be here to discuss everything you want to talk about. So it's the only YouTube channel in the tech space that gives back to the viewer and gives you a voice to be heard. So I'm trying to make sure, we give the viewer a voice, an opinion on what's going on in the tech world, the most interactive channel. Okay, so let's see. I have some very interesting stuff we need to take a long, hard look at. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the Pixel 11 series, which we're going to start off with, but there's a main story that is not good news. It's just not. And I think it is foreshadowing and or forecasting a bigger issue that we're going to see moving forward in this tech space. So it's bad news. But before we do that, let's talk about Pixel. All right, Pixel 11 is coming this week. If you did place a pre-order, I believe ours, it says getting ready for shipment. It just changed statuses last night. Now it has not shipped yet. We just checked right before I went live. Probably will tomorrow. So if you pre-ordered, and that should go for Pixels on the Play Store, that should go for Pixels even if you purchased them at a carrier, maybe even Best Buy. I think a lot of them are going to start shipping tomorrow. So you should see your devices, your tracking start to pick up here tomorrow, and at the very latest, I think Wednesday, because I think launch day is Thursday, correct? So I think large majority will go out tomorrow. So if you have a Pixel 11 series, subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and on TikTok, because we're going to be covering everything. Case reviews, performance reviews. I got a request in the chat to do a modem test, a speed test, which is honestly, out of all the little testing that we're going to do with this new Pixel 11 series, I'm not going to lie, I think that one's my most anticipated, for me personally, the modem test, because it's a big deal. And I think you're not, in fact, I don't think I've heard anybody on YouTube even mention that. I think somebody said, well, they didn't say anything about the upgraded modem. Do we know it's really an upgraded modem? Yes, we know it's an upgraded modem. If you were a subscriber of the eSIM Studios YouTube channel, you would know that we got confirmation months ago that they were going to switch to MediaTek. And it was like, hallelujah, music to my ears. Now, I live in a dead spot, so little upgrades like that is an enormous deal for me. And if you live out in the country, or if you live out of the city, or if you live in a dead spot, you know that's a big deal. Because T-Mobile's got their new 5G network. The old Pixels did not pick up. I know, it says 5G in your notification bar, but it's really not. It's really 4G on steroids. T-Mobile, this new 5G network is insane. And the new Pixel 11 series will now pick that up. AT&T just launched their brand new true 5G standalone network, similar to what T-Mobile did about a year ago. So it will be able to pick up AT&T's new 5G network. Verizon, they did improve their network here over the last couple of months, and they are expected to roll out their first 5G standalone network here, I believe, early next year. So maybe in another 6 months. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Pixel users, owners, and lovers all around the world. Because, look, I don't know what network connectivity is like in Greece or Japan, but whatever it is, it'll get better with this Pixel 11. So let me show you. Let me show you what I got. So Google today confirmed the new MediaTek modem. Now, time out. Before I show you this news, let me discuss with you something real quick. Do any of y'all get FOMO, fear of missing out? I'll be the first to admit, yeah, I do. And I had FOMO, fear of missing out, even before I had a YouTube channel. Like, it's something, look, I don't know. Even, I was thinking last week, it's even like when I was like a little kid, right? Just like something with technology and or gadgets, right? I was born in the early 80s. So like growing up through the 80s and even especially into the 90s when technology kind of started to take off, I always wanted the latest technology to test it out, to check it out, to see how it works. It's always been in me. So it's a no-brainer that I just gravitate to mobile technology, phones specifically, because it's like the coolest gadget in the world. It's like a Swiss Army knife, right? When it comes to electronics, it's more than obviously just a phone. Do we need to start changing the name? Because I mean, I don't even know the last time I made a phone call, honestly. That's why a lot of times I've recently been calling them devices. It's a device. But anyways, do you have fear of missing out? Now, I know it's easy to say no when these devices are 1,000 plus, and I get it. They're expensive, right? Now, you can find deals here, you can find deals there to kind of mitigate that high cost. But even if I skip out on a device, yeah, I still have I don't know if it's fear of missing out, but maybe it's like, it's something. It's something. So I get it, honestly. And sometimes I get myself a little worked up about, this brand new cool device, kind of like a Pixel, right? Now, obviously, no phone is perfect. I get that. And I have to remind myself that. I think we all are a little too harsh on these devices. But on the other hand, it does get you frustrated when they don't improve or upgrade a component inside one of these devices. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell are y'all doing? You're so close. But yeah, I have big time FOMO when it comes to stuff like this. And you know what? The best thing for me to do is to not think about it. I know it sounds easy, but like Don't look at articles and or reviews on your phone, right? Like, let's say I was not getting a Pixel 11, I would just block it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. You know, I'm human, so I mean, you do too. It's a if you like technology, I think it's hard to say you don't have a fear of missing out, right? I think that's a normal thing for people. And the price is the biggest thing, right? And I get it. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. And I've been there. And shit, I'm still there. Like, nobody's sending me these these phones. So it's like, if I can't get something, I just block it out. Don't even look at it. So let's see here. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. How's everybody doing? Are you looking forward to ColorOS, better customization features, and probably slightly better camera performance? I am looking forward to it big time. Big time. I know it's going to bring some big improvements. Now, you're going to see people out there that are not looking forward to it. In fact, I think there's been a couple here on the channel that were bummed out, or they're saying that they're not going to. Because remember, Oppo is going to give us a choice. You can stay on Oxygen OS and you'll still get security patches and Android updates, or you can go the ColorOS route. I recommend going the ColorOS route because they're gonna give you all the features that these Oppo phones have. They're gonna throw in here. It's essentially gonna turn into an Oppo phone overnight, and that gets me really excited. Yeah. I'm really excited to jump on the ColorOS train for sure. Yeah, I'll be one of the users that actually chooses to convert to ColorOS for sure. Yours does too. Awesome. So that wasn't just us. It looks like everybody's is preparing to ship. They only had the pink one. Now, you know they can ship them, right? And did you also check if you go to Best Buy where it says pick up, you know you can change depending on where you live, obviously. I don't know how many Best Buys you have in town. I think we have 6, something like that. So if one is out of stock, I'll jump on their app and choose a different location. I generally have like 3 that I usually go to. Chances are one of those 3 has them. So I suggest changing your store, or you can have it shipped to you. You certainly can. But I guess that's good news, right? Were they sold out potentially? I mean, obviously they were, but can you do a performance comparison for the Pixel 10 versus Pixel 11 modems? I use my Pixel 10 Pro XL to create 3D models of interior spaces. Yes, sir. I will 1,000. In fact, that'll be like one of the first videos that I do. Now, speaking of that, let's jump into what Google confirmed today, because it looks like they just made it official. Now, what am I talking about? Well, they made the MediaTek modem official. So Google says, that may be too small. Hang on. There we go. Google says the Pixel 11's new MediaTek modem is, quote, faster and more power efficient. Now, if you have done your homework, you would already know this, but they're making it official. They're making an official statement to the public. It is the MediaTek M90. And if you jump over to Google and you just simply type in that term MediaTek M90 modem, you're going to see a whole list of compiled results that essentially everybody's gushing over it. And it's typically outside the US online publications. So this MediaTek modem can be found typically in other devices sold outside the US, but make no mistake about it, it will get full coverage, all carriers, all frequencies, and not just pick up the frequencies, it sticks to that frequency. It is very powerful, it's very Jesus, I got them mixed up. It's very power efficient. That's what I was looking for. It's very powerful as well, but very power efficient. So it says, let's see here. Google made improvements on each generation starting from the Pixel 8. Now, what they did, check this out. So this is basically, article is very thin on content. It basically tells you what Google said, and that's about it. Because I looked at this earlier and I was like, well, I'll look at it when we jump on the live stream. There's really not much to it. So it probably suits you better to just Google MediaTek M90 modem. You're going to see a ton of stuff that comes up. But thank God they're moving away from Exynos. Now, it wasn't, I'm talking about their modems now, like in the Pixel 10, the Pixel 9 series. So moving from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 10, that's what I was hoping they would do. Now, this move to MediaTek is coming like a year too late, but they did make some improvements on the Exynos modem going from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 10. So essentially what they did is they did upgrade to the modem to the Exynos 5400 in the Pixel 10. But not only that, they moved the antennas inside of the Pixel 10, moved them around to get superior connectivity. And they also they claim they used AI to help with the modem as far as performance, but it's sort of like old camera sensors. When you use a camera sensor for so long and you squeeze out this and squeeze out performance of that, you can only do so much, right? There comes a point where you can't do anymore. You're at your physical limitations. Well, that's when MediaTek steps in, because they are far and away more advanced than Samsung Exynos modems. The Samsung Exynos modems weren't bad by any means, but they were not on the same level as Qualcomm Snapdragon modems. They just weren't. I mean, I've tested a lot of them, and a lot of them, they do get decent, I'm talking about Exynos here, Wi-Fi performance, and they'll get okay, respectable network connectivity, signal strength, and scores, meaning download speeds, upload speeds. But I promise you, it's not going to be anything like the new MediaTek modems. I'm making a strong statement here, even without having it in my hand. I'm very, very, very confident that this new MediaTek M90 modem is going to be phenomenal. I think this will solve all of your, if you had any, signal woes, because there's some people watching this that like live next to a tower. They're like, well, I don't have any problems. Okay, I get that, so exclude you. But people like myself, like many others out there watching right now, maybe that's a big deal to other people. And look, even if you live next to a tower, or where you're at the moment has great connectivity, okay, you have great connectivity 95% of the time. But what about when you go to a lake house for the weekend? Or what about when you go drive down to the beach for a weekend? Or you take a road trip, or you go hiking, or something like that, where you're not next to a tower? Then you're gonna then it's gonna matter. And this is a very strong performance on the same level as the Snapdragon X85 modem. That's their flagship modem. Now, not only is it going to improve performance, it's going to improve its power efficiency, meaning it's not going to take a lot to power this modem chip, right? And that's going to help out on battery life. I can't tell you how many Pixel users I've seen throughout the years, because I know I'm on Reddit too, like everybody else, or at least scrolling. I might not comment a lot. I'm at least looking at the comments. I'm looking under video comments in Reddit threads, seeing what people say. And a lot of people had battery issues, meaning battery would drain fast. And a lot of them mentioned, and some didn't, but I knew exactly what was wrong, that the signal strength was bad and it was causing the battery to drain. And that's kind of a common thing on Pixel devices, unfortunately. I think it's gotten better, right, with the Pixel 10 series. But you'll see a lot of those comments, like with the Pixel 6, 7, and 8. You'll see a lot of those comments some with the 9, not so much with the 10. But I think moving to this MediaTek modem it's been a long time coming. So I'm glad we can squash that issue, throw it to the side, and hopefully forget about it. Hopefully that'll be history. But yeah, we'll certainly test it when we get ours in. I'm going to do network testing here, and then I'm going to do network testing near my closest tower. So yeah, we'll definitely do all that. We will definitely do all that. Let's see here. Black and pink. Got you. One sadly, damn. And Staples doesn't have the $300 discount. Best Buy does. See if you can get it shipped. See if you can get it shipped. Maybe I don't know your situation, but I think that's always a possibility as well. Oh, thank God. Yo, that was my, well, not one, but the weight of these pixels are heavy. Even the small one is heavy. It feels heavy. Now, if you get the XL, very heavy. And I just like lighter things. Like the S26 Ultra, you could tell it's a lot lighter than the S25 Ultra. I was hoping Google was going to do that, lighten them up, because it makes a difference. It really does. So I'm glad to hear that. I still haven't been to Best Buy to see one in person, but I'm looking forward to it being lighter. Apple, on the other hand, doing the opposite. Apple iPhones are getting thicker and they're getting heavier every year. So just difference in philosophies. You know what I'm saying? Difference in philosophies. Will the OnePlus 16 be launched in September? I heard something like that. So the OnePlus 16, I haven't really covered it a lot because we're not going to get it. But it's going to be announced in October and launched in November. Officially launched. Excuse me. It's going to be officially announced in October and officially launched in November. If you remember, for the last 2 or 3 OnePlus devices, flagship devices, they've announced them in October and they officially launch in November. Now, what comes in September is the announcement and the official launch of the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Their new flagship series of CPUs, those get launched in September in Hawaii. I actually got invited to that announcement, but I'm not going. But that's when they announce it. And then that's when you'll see a Xiaomi device announced there. Because OnePlus is right. I think Xiaomi officially, the very first device up for sale to the public, has always been the Xiaomi. Like it beats out OnePlus by a week maybe. And it's been that way for the last couple of years. Now, downside is that the OnePlus 16 is only going to be launched in China. It'll only be launched in China. So that's why I haven't really talked about it much. But yeah, and if you want to buy one, look, I'm sure you can find one, whether it be on eBay or I'm sure GizTop will have them for sale, right? I don't think I'm going to get one, honestly. It is what it is. I'll move on, right? Probably get an Oppo or something like that. Now, speaking of Samsung, look at this. Samsung is going to go all in on these wide bodies, on these wide foldables. So the Z Fold 8 was such a hit, was such a smash hit, the Passport style foldable, that Samsung's like, well, holy crap, we didn't know it was going to be this popular. And now they're going to make 2 wide foldables next year. Now, I saw the Samsung roadmap, and shame on me, I should have that downloaded and put on display for you whenever I mention something like this, because it got me wondering. So if they're going to launch 2 wide foldables next year, what does that mean for the other foldables? Are they going to cross one off the list? Well, we don't know, but their roadmap for the next few years still has a flip. The flip is on their roadmap. Remember, there was some word that this was going to be the last flip ever made series-wise. Well, it turns out that was untrue. They have the flip on their roadmap, and look, stuff can change, right? we could be here next year and Samsung says, nah, screw it, we're gonna just nix that model. But for the time being, they have the Z Flip 9 and Z Flip 10 on their roadmap for the next 2 years. And there were two other foldables. Now, I don't know if we'll have to wait and see what the sales are for the Z Fold 8 Ultra. That's their most expensive device. I have a feeling that what Samsung is going to do, and I don't have any leaks, I don't have any rumors, this is just my personal opinion. I have a weird feeling that Samsung is going to launch 2 foldables. Well, they are, but in this wide body style. Now, hear me out. I think what they might do is discontinue the Ultra, meaning the book style foldable. And I think what they're going to do is make an extra wide body foldable, call that the Ultra, and it'll be a little bigger dimension wise when it's closed and opened. And I think they're going to put that telephoto camera on the back of the Ultra. So I think they're going to have one Z Fold 9, just like we see here, just like the Z Fold 8 right now. And I think they're going to turn that Z Fold 8 Ultra model into a Z Fold 9 Ultra and just make it the dimensions of a wide body, of a passport style foldable, and carry over that third sensor onto the second wide foldable. Because as cool as the Z Fold 8 is, I have no urge to use ours. My wife's been using it, and I'm not jealous at all. In fact, I'm like, it looks cool, but I don't want any parts of it. I'm not a fan of the camera sensors. Yeah, I can take a decent shot at 1x, but as soon as you start zooming in, the quality of the photo drops off a cliff. And I'm personally am not comfortable with paying $2,000 on a phone that can take good pictures. That's just me. Now, if they had the sensors that the Z Fold 8 Ultra has, it may be a different story, you know, because it does have some decent sensors. It should have better sensors, but at least it has, well, it's got the 200 megapixel sensor on there, right? And it also has the telephoto. So the details there and the zoom quality is there. So I think that's what they're going to do. Now we'll have to wait and see exactly how many units they sell of the current Z Fold 8 Ultra. It's probably not a lot. It's probably not a lot. And I think that'll, if you're Samsung, why would you hold on to a model that is not selling at all? And why wouldn't you go all in on these wide format passport style foldables? Just make 2 of those, make one a regular and one an Ultra. Sounds like a no-brainer. So I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's exactly what Samsung is going to do. Man, on TikTok, I keep on getting invited. Invite to co-host. I don't really want to co-host right now. Sorry. We'll save that for the weekend. The weekend is my co-host time. Sorry, TikTok. Okay. Now, here's something. Now, check this out. Here's some bad news. So, do you remember when this RAM apocalypse thing first started? Do you remember that news? You remember when that RAM apocalypse thing started, about when the price started to shoot up, when AI started, when the supply chain got interrupted and shrunk because these AI data centers were buying up all the memory to store all their data? Well, there was a news story that went under the radar. I don't remember anybody else talking about this, and I don't know why, because it directly affects you and I. There was a story that said these Chinese phone companies might not produce, manufacture, sell any Ultra phones. Not necessarily for the remainder of time, But at least for the next few years, until the price comes down a little bit on this memory. Do y'all remember that? Well, now we're starting to hear rumblings of that same sentiment. And now it looks like that might be coming to fruition. Yikes. So the whole idea of a Xiaomi, of an Oppo to take a timeout to pause the production of these ultra premium flagship Android devices is because they simply wouldn't be able to make a profit. They're putting literally the very best specs available, the very best hardware, the very best screen, the very best speakers, vibration motor, the very best display, the very best CPU, cameras, everything top notch. Memory's gotten so expensive, they would have to charge like $3,000 just to make a profit. Nobody's gonna, I say nobody's gonna buy a phone at $3,000. And of course you can say, well, Samsung sold the trifold at $3,000. Yeah, I get that, but they only made like 10,000 of them. Like when you're talking about Xiaomi, when you're talking about Oppo, you're trying to sell millions, right? Not 10,000, millions. So nobody's buying a $3,000 cell phone. Like they would have to charge an insane or even more. And it's just not worth it to them. They have a higher profit margin on the budget to mid-range phones than they do on these ultra premium phones. Now, the theory of taking a timeout on these ultra premium phones is to let the market die down, let the prices come back down a little bit, and then we'll start producing them again. I'm talking about the ultra premium. They'll still sell budget, they'll still sell mid-range, but what they're not doing, or should I say, what's the lower flagship? Not lower, base flagships. But we're talking about the ultras here. The ultras. The theory is take a timeout until this dies down. Well, I've heard experts say maybe until the 2030s that these prices come down. If they come down at all, ever, which there's a strong possibility as time goes on. I hate to say it, but we may never see prices come down, ever. They're making too much money. These companies are too greedy, too money hungry. Why would they drop the prices if every product, literally everything they put out, sells out in a second? Why would they lower the price? They're making record profits. But that's concerning for everybody else because look at this new leak. So this new leak here on GSM Arena. This person, and they broke the last story, so they obviously, a couple months ago, they obviously have connections inside the industry. So Xiaomi, it has canceled the Xiaomi 18 Ultra. They're not going to make it. Now, they're also saying Vivo and Ultras. Now, they're not necessarily going to pull the plug on those Ultras either, but this upcoming year, they're just going to sell them in China. That means your Vivo X300 Ultra, no global launch. That means the Oppo Find X10 Ultra, no global launch. Because remember, the Oppo Find X9 Ultra that just launched a couple months ago was critically acclaimed. It was the very best Android phone, or phone period, you can buy, right? Meaning cameras, it's essentially digital camera on a nice big phone. Well, they're not going to invest into a global launch of this because they just simply can't make money. So it's just going to be China only. But this is not good news because Xiaomi is just canceling the Ultra automatically. Oppo and Vivo, they're just going to stick to China only. Well, this time next year, if those don't even sell well because they're still going to be expensive, Vivo and Oppo might just stop selling their Ultras altogether, just like Xiaomi is going to do. So this is not good news. Like, if this turns out to be a good decision for Xiaomi, for Vivo, for Oppo, meaning they actually save money by doing this, which is probably what's going to happen, then who's to say Samsung might do that? I know that's a long shot, still possible. I can't really see Apple doing that, but Is it out of the realm of possibilities? I mean, I guess technically, look, if things get worse, it certainly could be on the table, right? But that it just reduces the number of different options that buyers have. So it's better for Apple for this. It's better for Samsung, because then it makes somebody like me in my position, or maybe you in your shoes. Well, now you're definitely going to get the S27 Ultra. Damn, well, maybe you wanted to grab the Oppo Find X10 Ultra, right? Not anymore. Or maybe you're a Xiaomi fan and you live in Brazil. No more iPhone 8. Oh, Jesus Christ. No more Xiaomi 18 Ultra. So, just another bad sign of things going south in the tech world, you know. I got the Chase Golf says, I got the Pixel 11 Pro XL coming and I'm leaving my Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max. Whoa. Yo, somebody just put that in the TikTok chat. I need to come up with some kind of graphic, some kind of celebration when somebody moves from iPhone to a nice Android phone like that. That's good. Welcome to the family. I really think you're going to enjoy it. I would be surprised if you did not enjoy it. And Pixel is probably the easiest device. I always recommend iPhone users when they say, I want to try Android, or I want to get that new Samsung Foldable. And if they do ask for my advice, I always tell them, you might want to try a Pixel first to see if you like Android, because Samsung it's a little overwhelming if you've never used a Samsung before and you start using it, just because there's so many settings, so many theming options. It's incredible. So I would say that's a good move, going to the Pixel 11 Pro XL. I think you're gonna like it. Stick around. Whenever you do get it, please come back and let me know. Oh, you've had the 3A XL before. That was a classic device. What color did you have? I like that purple color on the 3A series. Y'all remember that one? I had purple, and I think I had white. I had all three. I had purple, white, and black. I wish I'd keep all my phones. I need to have like a classic phone collection. Let's see here. What you asking? What is the zone storage on Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL on 512 and 1 terabyte models? Zone storage. Let's see if I can explain it. It's sort of like an expandable storage, but it's not user controlled. So let me see if I can pull this up to better explain it for you. So it's Zone UFS storage. It's how it stores the random access memory, not your ROM, your read-only memory. It's how it stores it, so when it needs to access that memory. So say like I have this Motorola right here. Instead of storing it in my cabinets over here, I'm going to put it right here, because I know in the future, here in the next hour, I'm going to need to take some pictures, right? Or take a video. So I'm going to store it right here. So in the future, I don't have to get up and go pull it out of my drawer. I can just have it right here, right behind me. It's sort of like zoned storage, where on random access memory, your RAM, let's say you have an app open in the background or whatever, it stores the memory kind of like in a zoned area. That makes it easy access for it to pull the memory real quick, instead of having to go in, like I said, across the room to get the item, right? It's like sort of like right next to you. So that's how, remember we heard them say, oh, apps are going to be launching faster. What else did they say? The phone will act. They said apps loading faster or launching faster. You've heard them say that, right? Like 15% faster app loading, blah, blah. Sort of has something to do with that. So I probably didn't explain the technical terms, but it just they can only do that on UFS 4.0 and higher. So that was not possible on older Pixels because they had older UFS storage. That's why a lot of these little upgrades that nobody is talking about, it blows my mind that nobody brings this stuff up. I don't know why. This is the important stuff to the users, not, I get it. Oh, this new color here, and oh, new cameras, yay. Yeah, but what about using stuff? What about upgrades on the Pixel that users are going to be using far more on a daily basis than just a camera or the way it looks? No, the modem is a very integral part of your phone, and that gets a massive upgrade. Zoned UFS storage 4.0. Massive upgrade inside your device. Hello? Like, I don't know why nobody else is talking about this. So thank you for bringing that up. I saw that yesterday and I was like, damn, I need to talk about that. And I obviously forgot. But thank you very much for bringing that up. It's actually really cool how it works here. And I'm glad they have it here because this is exactly how it works. So data organization divides storage space into logical zones, allowing the Pixel Tensor G6 processor to write data sequentially. Performance boost reduces write amplification and keeps the storage chip fast even as the phone fills up. We're talking about random access memory on the fly in real time. Tier availability, yeah, it's only available for 512 and 1 terabyte models, not for the standard 256. So the standard 256 does have UFS storage, but the 512 and 1 terabyte has UFS zoned storage. I don't believe the base Pixel 11 has zoned storage. I think that's only reserved for the Pro and the Pro XL, possibly the Pro Fold. So even if you get just the base Pixel 11, let's say you get the 512 gig base Pixel 11. Oh, I got to get the 512 gig on the Pixel 11 because it's got zoned UFS storage. No. Even though it has upgraded 512 storage, it's not a Pro model. So they're only doing zoned storage on Pro models. Let's see. Yeah, there's actually some benchmark stuff, some benchmark testing, some applications for storage. So I'm going to go through all those. It appears it's a huge upgrade. This Pixel is a big upgrade. Yet everybody, and I know I was kind of harsh the other day on them. And I get it, but that's when we saw the very first leaks of the benchmark, and it looked really freaking bad. Now we've seen some leaks just the other day that actually look fairly respectable. So now I'm like, I'm gonna kind of reserve judgment whether praise them or dog them. I'm gonna reserve judgment until we actually get the device, and then I'll make a kind of final judgment as far as where I want to go with praising them. Oh, this is a great device, or nah, it's just a refresh. You can skip this one. We'll have to wait and see. But good news is that it will be here this week. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's getting about that time. Been on here for almost an hour. I really appreciate the time. I'll try to be a little more buttoned up when it comes to my start time. I do apologize about that. But I really, really appreciate your time. Please, please subscribe to the channel. And we're covering a lot of Pixel right now just because that's the hot topic. But trust or believe, next month when the iPhone comes out, we're going to be covering that. When the Samsung comes out, we're going to be covering that. The new tablets come out here, we're going to be covering that. So, we got a lot going on. And on the weekends, it's your time. It's your time to join me up here on the weekends and talk some technology. So, man, I'm getting a lot of people inviting me to join as a guest. So, anyways, I got to roll. Appreciate your time. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Please have a safe but enjoyable rest of your day. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll do I need to do a giveaway for this week. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do a giveaway tomorrow. Stick around. Maybe get some money. Peace.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.